Welcome to Creative Caregiving and Beyond. More and more people are having to become caregivers for their elderly loved ones, and navigating this journey can be really difficult. This podcast will provide guidance and give practical tips for your family. Your host is Wendy Whiteman, elder law attorney, author, speaker, and leading insight advisor in senior protocol and senior lifestyle trends. Know that you are not alone in getting the help that you need. Let's get started. And here's Wendy.
Well, welcome to another episode of Creative Caregiving and Beyond. And today we have a special guest. We have Ashley Austin Hill. She's a senior compliance consultant with Real Organized Advocacy. Ashley, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And Ashley, I want you to expound on your degrees and your certifications. You have a MHS, SMQT, and a CALM. Now, what do those mean?
Yes, ma'am. So those are just three of them.
Just three.
Just
okay,
three.
all right.
MHS is a Master of Human Services. I actually got that degree in 2017 from Walden University, and they have a specialization in human services, psychology, and helping professions. So that's why I went to that school. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
The SMQT is a designation by Health and Human Services when you become an investigator surveyor. So you have to pass a test in order to go into nursing facilities, assisted living facilities, etc., in order to let them know, what areas are deficient, what areas are sound, and to be able to cite them, so to speak, for those particular issues.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then the CALM is Certified Assisted Living Manager. I also teach the Certified Assisted Living Managers class for individuals who want to be managers of assisted living facilities in Texas.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Well, thank you for clearing that up.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, as an investigator, you have to be tough sometimes.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll be transparent in part. That's why I resigned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm come from pastors and teachers. That's my lineage, and I'd rather help and make sure you know what you're supposed to do than be punitive.
Yes.
And so when I left the state, I actually was just, what am I gonna do? Use what you know and go help people get it right.
Right.
And so that's how I started Real Organized Advocacy.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So that was your passion behind it.
Yes, ma'am.
So what, you've, on your website, you have person first care.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you expound on that?
So my job as a consultant is to make sure that the providers, like assisted living facility owners, the managers, and other senior care professionals know that our work is first for the resident.
Okay.
Their well-being, their desires, their wants, their needs. And without that understanding, in my mind, what is the point of you doing this work?
Okay.
What they need dictates how we move as professionals.
Okay.
And I believe that. So when I say person first, when I'm working with my clients, whether they're opening up a new assisted living facility or they're having to answer for violations that they found, is how are we going to either set this facility up or fix this issue so that the residents benefit.
Okay.
The residents are well maintained. The residents' health and safety is first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So their best interest
Yes, ma'am.
is what you're looking after.
Yes, ma'am.
So exactly what do you do? What does RAO do?
Yes, ma'am.
When you go into a facility, and I guess it's a two-pronged question, and what type of facilities are you servicing,
Yes,
so to
ma'am.
speak? Okay.
So primarily our function for the last 8 years has been compliance. So that's either helping new providers set up new facilities from the start until licensing.
Okay.
So I walk them through the process of what it's like to prepare the home, which is called life safety.
Okay.
Life safety is anything from the sprinkler systems they have to install to the flooring, to ramps, lighting, grab bars, those type of things.
Okay.
So again, person first, the house needs to meet the needs of the people that are going to be living there.
Okay.
And then I walk them through the process of health. So health is the perspective of training staff,
Okay.
having your documentation, which is required by Health and Human Services, making sure that you can meet resident care needs and you understand the standards of operation.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
And then secondarily, we have also been helping HCS providers. So HCS is Home and Community-Based Services. It's a waiver program for individuals with special needs.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Same kind of thing, just helping from a compliance perspective, making sure they understand the regulatory guidance and they have the right tools in order to facilitate the program that they're offering.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And most recently, we started helping with home health and hospice companies from an application and regulatory perspective only.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Does that include memory care facilities, nursing facilities
So
as well?
I haven't expanded to nursing. Assisted living has kept me quite busy.
Okay.
Yes,
But it doesn't include assisted living.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
For me, it includes assisted living. I have surveyed nursing facilities in the past when I worked for Health and Human Services, but I am not servicing them at this time. That's a large endeavor.
Well, so when you go into a facility, you know what it's supposed to look like and how it's supposed to run.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow,
Yes, ma'am.
that's amazing. So how would a family member know, if they're looking at facilities and they're touring? I have clients that are doing this weekly. They're going to facilities and they're trying to pick a facility for their loved one. How would they know if it's in compliance or not? Or would they know? I mean, are there glaring things that they should look for, or a few things that they should look for?
So I'll tell you what I look for from a surveyor's perspective to
Okay.
kind of help the families.
Okay. All right.
So I'm a all senses type of girl. So when I walk in the facility, what does it smell like?
Ah.
Okay. Immediately, what does it smell
What
like?
does it smell like? Okay.
Many times, odors can reveal other issues. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes.
I won't get into the graphic details of that.
Okay.
But and what does the facility look like? Is it well maintained? Is it being properly cleaned?
Mhm.
And then also, what are the residents' countenance? How do they look? How are they being received by the staff? How are the staff talking to them?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
just pay attention to the interpersonal dynamics between staff and in between residents.
And residents.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, I'm a person. I'm gonna ask questions.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. So my grandmother is actually in a residential assisted living facility,
Okay.
and
Okay.
when I walked in, I started asking questions.
Yeah.
I talked with the staff. I asked them, how do you care for the residents? How often are y'all bathing them?
Right.
What type of meals are you providing? How often are they
Mhm.
eating? If they don't like what you're providing, what alternatives do you offer them? Those type of things.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm also a person to say visit on different shifts, because what you get during the first part of the day may be vastly different than what it is at the latter part of the day.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
true.
So from the perspective of a lay person, go in asking questions and observing, and then whoever you are doing the tour with,
Mm-hmm.
ask those questions that may seem invasive. It's okay. Do you have residents that need more care than others? How do you help them? What type of services are you offering to individuals who have more chronic illnesses than others? Just ask those deeper questions and to get a better understanding for yourself.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This is great. I'm going to put together a checklist of questions, a list of questions
Yes,
that I can
ma'am.
hand out to clients when they go tour.
The other
Yeah.
part of that is, if you go on Health and Human Services website, you
Okay.
can search a facility, a licensed facility. Now, that's the other part. Some facilities are unlicensed and some are licensed. So if it's truly a licensed facility, you can go on Health and Human Services website and you can search their deficiencies and see what issues they've had.
They've
Yes,
had.
ma'am.
So you can be unlicensed?
Yeah, well, so yes, ma'am.
Legally?
Yes, ma'am. In the state of Texas, you can have up to 3 persons in your home.
Okay.
But you cannot be acting as an assisted living. And what that means is you're not offering them personal care services.
Okay.
It's more of a room and board type of situation. And maybe you offer assistance, transportation or things like that, but you're not offering them personal care. You're not feeding them. You're not bathing them. You're not doing anything that a licensed agency would need to have a certification for.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Gotcha. What if that person needs those things, but you've taken them on as a boarder? Are they still liable, or should they refer them to someone else, or
To be
someone else
honest,
to live, or what happens in that situation?
yes, ma'am. To be honest, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
to
you're
be
good.
honest, many unlicensed are still taking individuals like that,
Uh-huh.
and they're relying upon their home health agencies if they have any.
Okay.
Maybe that person has
Okay.
hospice. And if that home health or that hospice company is actually taking care of that person
Mm-hmm.
and all of their needs, then they may be able to kind of skirt what the rules are.
Yes.
But there was just a legislative change. I believe it was Senate Bill 2510. I may be off one.
Okay.
But unlicensed facilities are no longer able to take those type of residents.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
as of September 1.
Okay.
So being mindful of the type of residents you're taking if you're in an unlicensed capacity where you
Right.
can only have 3 or less, just so that you're protecting yourself, but mostly so that you protect the people that are in your home.
Right.
I would just
right.
be referring them to a licensed community, or I would just get licensed
Oh, get
so I can
licensed. Okay.
operate. Yeah, so
Yes.
I can operate in the
Yes.
right way. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So when a facility or provider is being licensed, is that the state? I assume the state comes in at that point. What does that look like for that facility, so our families will know the rigor they have to go through?
Sure.
The credentials and the process.
Yes, ma'am. So Health and Human Services requires the physical property to meet the life safety standards before they'll come out.
Okay.
And survey the home. So the process looks like this. If you're in a residential home,
Okay.
or even if you're in a commercial property, so we call them smalls versus large, okay?
Okay.
So small facilities are anything 4 to 16 beds, and large facilities are anything 17 and up, okay?
Okay.
So those buildings have to meet the life safety standards. So they have to have a fire alarm, a fire sprinkler, ramps, grab bars, ADA compliance,
Okay.
for individuals who may have wheelchairs or mobility issues.
Okay.
And they all have to meet a certain standard. So there's guidance that the facilities have to follow from the National Fire Protection Association, from international building codes, the local fire marshal, and whatever the local city governance is. So
Okay.
all of that has to be met even
Wow.
before you submit an application.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so then when you submit your application, they go through a rigorous background check to see what type of person is starting this facility.
Okay.
If there are any issues present legally, they are likely going to be denied.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So they have to go through that in-depth background check. Once that's done, and that application has been completed, then they'll send a surveyor out.
Ah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll have 2 surveys. The first survey is the life safety surveyor. Okay. Again, they're coming out to look at the building to make sure that you have a sound emergency preparedness plan.
Yes.
Which, if I had the time, I would go in depth about. But yes, ma'am. A sound emergency preparedness plan, as well as the right tools within the facility to make sure everyone is safe.
It's safe.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Once the assisted living passes that survey, then they're allowed to have 3 people.
Okay. Okay.
The reason they do it that way is they want you to get those 3 people so you can work out your documentation, your training with the staff, make sure all that your operational standards are up to par.
Okay.
And so those 3 individuals, even if you are coming from a person first perspective, when you're opening a home, you're still green, you're trying to figure it all out. So they give you that opportunity.
Okay.
Once you're secure and you feel ready, then you let Health and Human Services know, hey, I'm ready for my health survey.
Okay.
Then that health surveyor comes out, they look at your documentation, they look at your staffing, your resident care, and then they determine that, hey, you're ready to be licensed. And from there, a couple weeks, you get your license and you can go to whatever your full capacity is for the home.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So with your company, you make sure the companies are already prepared before the state comes in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's my goal.
That's your goal.
Yeah, that's my goal. I want them to pass the first time.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Now you have part of your mission is decreasing incidents, complaints, and investigations.
Yes, ma'am.
How does that translate?
So for organizations such as assisted living, being organized is first and foremost to help mitigate those issues. Okay. So you need to have a sound compliance system, checklist, reminders, calendars, and then the right people in place who are going to take their roles seriously.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it's about developing a system that works for your organization and your staff, but also just really monitoring and maintaining the compliance for Healthy Human Services is really just about remembering what they want. Okay. Healthy Human Services is very specific about, hey, the residents' care needs to be maintained. Your facilities need to be maintained. Your fire sprinklers need to be monitored. You must have a fire marshal's inspection every year. Your systems have to be monitored every 6 months. It's quite clear.
Right.
So if you can develop that quality assurance system within your own business, then you shouldn't have any problem meeting those standards. So my role is to go in and work with these individuals to develop their systems, because what works for one company doesn't always work for another.
That's true.
And so I'm not a one size fits all type of girl. I'm one that, okay, what works best for you? To remember what your role and your duties are. Who are we going to cross train so that if you're not available, they know that they're supposed to step in?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. So do you have, I know the state, they can come in and do surprise
anytime they want
audits or whatever, investigations, or what do they do?
Yes, ma'am. So when I was a surveyor, I could go in a facility at 1 o'clock in the morning. I could go in a facility at 7 o'clock at night. And there were times I was in facilities for 12 plus hours because of an issue. Yes, ma'am. So they can't tell them no.
Wow.
No, ma'am.
Wow. So how does your company help with ROA? Yes, ma'am. Help with communication?
So in regard
with families, between families and the facilities to remain compliant, do they have any particular rules regarding communication? And
oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So a part of that is policy and training. Okay. So in the policies that I've provided to my clients, we put certain documents in place that trigger them to communicate with the families. So especially if it's involving an incident or some type of accident or anything of that manner. So in that policy, it's saying communicate with the family. So most of those policies are stating that. And then it's also in the training that you give to the staff and then the management as well. But a part of the regulatory guidance states that assisted living facilities, the managers or whomever is in charge, are responsible for ensuring that the residents and their families are in the loop about what's happening with that resident. Yes, ma'am. And so I've built it into my policies. I've built it into my checklist, into the emergency preparedness planning, all of that. Everything goes back to, have we contacted the family?
The family.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And how soon is the family contacted or should be contacted if, for instance, if a loved one has an incident in the middle of the night, they fall or something? Does that wait till the next morning? Is that immediate? How soon should the family be contacted?
So if it's a fall, I believe in my policies, it says 1 hour. So after that resident has fallen, you taking the necessary steps to secure that person. Whether it be staying with that person until a nurse or till the ambulance arrives or what may have you, then you have to contact that family within 1 hour. Now, there may be mitigating factors where that family says, hey, call me the next day in these situations. Well, in those cases, you may follow what the family says. But the standard is to always contact families within a certain amount of time. Yes, ma'am. And not within 24 hours.
Right.
No.
They found out later.
Yeah, no.
A day or two later, well, this is what happened to your loved one, Wow. What about technology? Do you use technology with your systems as you go in with facilities? Do you monitor them yourselves, or do you encourage them to use technology to be transparent with their clients, their residents?
Yes, ma'am. So I am a girl that doesn't like paper. If I can avoid it, I won't have it.
Right.
Mine is my notebook. But so I personally share all of my documentation or contracts, everything like that are through two systems, a cloud
Okay.
file system and then a CRM. Okay. And shout out to Dubsado. I've had them for like 6 years. I love that CRM. So that helps me keep things easy for my clients.
All right.
And then email, obviously. But specifically when I'm working with providers, I'm encouraging them to either get an EMR or an e-charting system. These are CRMs that are specifically geared to assisted living facilities or providers, so that they can track compliance. They can monitor medication. Some of those systems also communicate directly with pharmacies. And so it creates a place of compliance where all of the things that I'm trying to teach you to do with checklists and this and that and the third, well, if we use this system, we can just monitor that one thing to make sure that we're meeting all of our requirements. So there is a company that I have been consulting with, EasyDocs. There's Blue Chips. There's all of these other different e-charting systems, DocuWiz, that people can choose from. And it's just determined based on what they need and ease of use. So some of them are easier to use than others, and some of them have more capabilities than others. So what is it that you want for your facility, but also what can your staff handle?
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
So I encourage all of my clients to go to an e-charting system, to have some type of technological services to make their jobs easier, especially with payments and things of that nature. If you're giving care or you're trying to work with families or work with residents, trying to stop and go to the bank and deposit 17 checks.
That's true.
All of that takes time.
Takes time.
Yes, ma'am. So we want to streamline. Yes, ma'am.
Well, and then it keeps, you have an accurate paper trail.
Yes, ma'am.
For families if they're asking questions and they want to know what's going on, because there are a lot of moving parts.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes paperwork does get lost.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you've got it,
electronically.
Yes,
ma'am. It'll save a lot of headache. I've even encouraged most of my clients to do all of the onboarding documentation with residents and with staff. Make it DocuSign or some type of online tool that they can sign and send it back to you. That way you have the online record as well as the paperwork once you print it out.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What would you suggest if a family member thinks that a facility is non-compliant in an area? What are their options at that point?
So it's contingent upon the severity of the issue.
Okay.
If it's something that it's an inconvenience, but it's not harmful to the resident, I would talk with the facility first. Yeah. Give them the opportunity to fix it.
Yes.
And here's why I say that. We don't want to weaponize Health and Human Services against the providers for things that are minor.
Right.
Okay. And I say that because Health and Human Services, the surveyors, they really do care about the people in the facility, but they're also stretched.
Yes,
okay?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. They've got a lot to do.
Yes, ma'am. And there has been a shortage of surveyors. So we want to be mindful about using our resources. So always talk with the facility first if it's something that is more of an inconvenience or something that can be easily remediated. But if it's something glaring, if it's something that you know is causing harm to people or has the potential to cause harm, call 1-800-458-9858. Okay, that's the hotline for Health and Human Services.
You remember that number too?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Wow. So how would you recommend a family, become advocates to, even help the facility, with their compliance and just maintaining standards, or anything the family members can do to get involved to make the facility aware of things that could be addressed or headed off?
One, develop a relationship with the manager or the staff there who are open to receiving that.
Okay.
So a lot of times we want to help, but we have to realize that not everybody is open to receiving that help.
That's true.
And so in order for you not to be harmed or hurt in that process, even if it's just your feelings, make sure that you have the type of relationship with the people that are there.
Okay.
So I'm going to take off my compliance hat for a second.
Yes.
I'm the granddaughter of someone in the facility.
Okay.
I have developed a relationship with the owner of that facility, and I've developed a relationship with the manager of that facility.
Okay.
I can text that manager right now and she'd reply to me
Okay.
because I developed a relationship with them.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? We're not supposed to give gifts or anything like that to the workers, but sometimes I take food or snacks or things and I sit and I talk to them.
Right.
And because I'm in the position I'm in, they'll also ask me questions and I have no problem answering them.
Okay.
So from the perspective of families, develop rapport with the people who are taking care of your loved ones.
Yes.
That's the first thing that I would do.
Yes.
Get to know those people because yes, they're supposed to provide care to your loved ones. Yes, they're supposed to be there for them and supply their needs and some of their wants. But those are individuals too.
That's
and
true.
They are dealing
so
with
true.
sometimes up to 10 people by themselves,
Right.
depending upon what facilities they're in.
Yeah.
And when you're a human dealing with other humans, that can be a lot.
That's true.
So just having some grace and some understanding for the position that they're in,
Right.
and then developing that relationship is a great place for you to then say, hey, I see this issue. It's really glaring. I don't want to go to Health and Human Services because I think it's something that you can fix.
Yeah.
So if you have that opportunity. Now, if you don't and you're saying, I'm over this, they're not doing what they're supposed to do, 1-800-458-9858 and you submit your complaint. And then you let Health and Human Services step in.
That's
because
true.
that's their job.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's so true. Well, it's like any of us. We go to work, but yet we have private lives. We have other things going on. I know I have caregivers in my home with my mom.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have to remember sometimes, they have other things that could be going on in their lives too. I have to make sure, and it does make a difference when you build that rapport and you understand how they see things, especially when someone's living with you, because you grow up in different homes. You may approach things differently.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is important to know that. And that's so true with care.
And even cultural norms.
Yeah, that's true.
So I can't give the full details, but when I was a surveyor, there was an issue in one of the facilities where the majority of the caregivers were foreign. And how they spoke was very brash, very in your face. But from my perspective, I didn't take any harm to it.
Right.
But the individuals in their home felt some type of way about how they were being talked to.
Yeah.
And so even though I can understand that from a outsider's perspective, those people felt harm.
Right.
So we have to consider the cultural differences as well.
That's true.
And so from the facility's perspective, they need to teach cultural understanding.
Yes.
You're dealing with people of a certain time in a certain place where manners and yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and how you speak to them matters.
Yes.
And just understanding how to bridge the gap between you being yourself and also making sure that their health and safety is first and foremost.
That's true.
So it's a balancing act of the facility's responsibility and then our responsibility just as human beings to one another.
That's true. It is a study of human behavior.
Yes, ma'am.
And how, people react. I know people in the South, I mean, it's big to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. And not just yes, no, know.
Yeah.
I've learned that growing up in the South. So, but there are differences. I don't get offended if someone's not from the South or from the East Coast or something and they say yes, no.
Yeah.
And I understand that's just how they are.
Yeah.
That's just how they grew up. But you're right. That does make a big difference.
Yes, it does.
To understand that.
Understanding that the cultural differences between people.
Yeah.
And for me, I do my best to help my clients understand that. Walk into here as a professional, be yourself, but remember that you're dealing with all different type of backgrounds.
Yes.
And that the best place for you to approach this is a place from, the best place to approach this from is being inquisitive. Learn about them.
Okay.
Ask questions.
Yes.
Get to know the people that you're serving and their families
Yeah.
so that you can know how to approach them.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what would be the ideal facility, or the perfect place? Have you ever come across a client in the perfect scenarios, like this is what it should look like all the time?
Yes, ma'am.
What does that look like?
So there is no perfect assisted living facility. Okay, it's gonna be something somewhere. It could be pristine, the house could be beautiful, the staff could be well groomed, well mannered, and there's a light bulb somewhere that's not screwed all the way in, or a resident that still has a complaint, and that's okay.
Yes.
An ideal facility is one where the management is in line with the staff in terms of communication.
Okay.
Training.
Okay.
There's cross training going on. And when I say cross training, I mean this. If manager Barbara is out on vacation, manager Susan can come in and do exactly what manager
just steps right in.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. There is a lightheartedness in the facility.
Okay.
I've been in some facilities and the residents were just joyful. The staff was joyful. And even in times of maybe there's a resident death or something of that, they still stuck together and they helped comfort one another.
Yes.
So does it have culture? Okay. And then is it home? Because some places can feel sterile.
Yeah.
Is it lived in? Is it home? The residents' room reflect themselves? Are there pictures on the walls? Is it welcoming? Okay. And so just the ideal facility would be a place where the residents can tell you, this is where I would prefer to be.
Right.
Yeah. My grandmother was upset with me when I placed her in the facility, but I was running a business and my other family members are also working, so we couldn't stay home with her, and we tried, but it can get expensive to pay for caregivers.
Takes a lot of time.
24/7.
Yes.
And so at first she was mad at me, and I probably was every name in the book, and that's okay. But after about 2 weeks, she said, "Oh, they take good care of me here."
Aw.
And that's how I knew we were okay.
Yes.
That's how
their responses.
Yeah, because she a tough cookie. And her favorite saying is, "I'll get you told," and she would get them told.
She must know my mother.
You know those
they may have grown up together.
Those silent generation people are tough.
They're very tough. They're very tough. Yes.
But paying attention to your loved one. Are they happy?
Yes. Yes.
Are they well taken care of?
Yeah.
And just paying attention even to the other people in the facility and how they're being maintained, and are they being responded to in a loving manner or a caring manner. All of those little nuances that even us outside of assisted living facilities want. I want you to talk to me sweet. Talk to me nice.
Yes.
Now, I can't promise that that's the truth for everybody.
Right.
Most of us want to be treated well.
That's true.
And that's the reality of people in assisted living. They want to be treated well.
They do.
Yes, ma'am.
They do. And it makes a difference. You know, when I walk in my mom's room and she and the caregivers are playing music and mom's, dancing in her chair and smiling, it makes all the difference in the world. It may look like chaos everywhere else, but she's having a great time. They're doing well, and it's home.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not and no home is perfect. There may be a pillow out of location, or whatever it may be, but it's good for our families to know that it may not be perfect. But picture perfect, like Hallmark perfect. But it is perfect for your loved one. They're being taken care of and they're enjoying themselves and give them some time. When you say, like your grandmother, give them some time to adjust.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Adjustment. And you have to take into consideration, you're taking them from all that they knew. My grandmother had been in her home 50 plus years.
Yes.
So to take her from her home that her and my grandfather shared together, that she reared her children in, her grandchildren.
Wow.
That was difficult for her.
Yes.
And so I can understand her being mad for a little bit.
Right.
I can understand her not being jovial about it. I don't know that I would be happy about it.
Right.
So give time before you assess if it's the facility that's the problem or if it's just the transition that's the problem.
Gotcha.
Because, mind you, you go somewhere new, the caregiver is not going to cook your food like you do. The caregiver is not going to clean like you clean.
Right.
So just learning and kind of adjusting is also a thing in this industry.
That's
So
right.
for families, giving yourself an adjustment period before you go in and say everything is wrong, nothing's right, and we got to do something about it.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am. The other thing I was going to say too is activities are a big thing.
Okay. Okay.
Our seniors, even at home, are not engaged like they should be. And so if a facility isn't offering quality activities, that would be a red flag for me.
Okay.
Bingo is great. I'm not saying don't do bingo.
Right.
Are we doing any exercising?
Right.
Do we have the music, a musician coming in and playing music? Is the local church welcome to come in and do worship? What does that activities program look like so that people are actively engaged and not just with the people in that facility 24/7?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Those were good points. So what would you leave our audience? Is there one thing that you'd like to leave them that we haven't covered, our family members or anyone in the industry? Any one particular thing that may stick out?
Yes, ma'am. So I have a few points.
Okay.
One, there are many tales about horrible assisted living facilities, horrible nursing homes, and I'm not going to try to combat that. But just as many as the ones that you've seen that are horrible, there are some great facilities out there. Okay. And so be open-minded. Be okay with exploring. Again, you can go and look up facilities before you go visit them. And see what type of deficiencies they've had before. See what type of issues that they've encountered. Ask questions of the local community around them. But be open-minded to these places because they are needed.
That's true.
They're needed.
Yes.
I would, if I had the capacity to take care of my grandmother in home, I would have preferred that. But that's not my reality. And that's not the reality of most working people now.
That's right. That's right.
So these facilities are necessary. Okay. The second thing I would do is say for those of us who are aging, those of us 40s, 50s, 60s, long-term care insurance or some type of brokerage that gains money that you will be able to afford the cost of care.
Yes.
The cost of care is very expensive now. Yes, ma'am. The average cost of assisted living is somewhere about $5,000 right now in the state of Texas. Nursing facilities, $7,000 a month. And so as we're aging, we need to be cognizant and preparing ourselves for that time.
That's true. That's so true.
And so just being mindful about what your future holds and how you're preparing for it. And even if you have aging parents, look into their various financial vehicles and see if there's a way for you to pay for their care. Because there are multiple ways that you could finance care. Not finance because I don't want to say get loans. I don't mean that, but I mean through vehicles that your family already has.
Right. Those are very good points. And that's what we do in my firm is just helping people preserve assets and qualify for various programs through Medicaid, the state.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're right. Pre-planning does help with that. And but that's something sometimes we don't want to plan for because we don't think it's going to happen. And I get that too. It's not a pleasant thing, but when it does happen, you've got to face it and deal with it. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a wealth of information.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Our audience is really going to appreciate this and enjoy this episode. And thank you for tuning in for another episode of Creative Caregiving and Beyond. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And we'll be back with more exciting information. Thanks.